Hey folks, welcome back to Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. We're here in a place that has not been named yet, but I will tell you right now, it's called the Shaded Woods. And let's take care of this guy. And this is the beginning of a new spoke. In earnest this time, you know. Up until now we've been kind of in the entryway, but we're gonna head into the woods proper. But before we do, there's a bunch of rooms in this building that I want to investigate. First things first, very useful, Estus Flask Shard. It's the only door you really need to open. Then we've got a couple on each side here that you need to do a little bit of platforming to reach. Now, in terms of story, in terms of lore, I have a theory. And it's not a theory I've seen substantiated anywhere else on the internet, which means it's totally 100% my idea, and therefore I am super cool. Let's leave him for last. You'll notice that... Oh. Okay, well, come on out. Each of these... Uh-oh, are they all coming out? Each of these rooms holds a goblin, except for that... Where'd he go? There he is. Except for this one, which holds a germ. Or germ, I'm not sure which. Whew. Now, I have a theory about why this might be the case. Whoop. Hey there. Which I will now talk about at length. First off, germ armor, let's check that out. Has nothing to do with my theory, but there we go. The stocky germ are kind-natured, but humans deemed them impure and drove them underground. They were nomadic, and then kind of forced underground. They're basically dwarves. And then these goblins. Oh, and dropped a life gem. These goblins, there's one imprisoned in each of these cells, and you'll remember that in this previous room, similar story, one imprisoned in each cell, basically. And that leads me to believe that they were, you know, imprisoned and not just chilling out, not just hanging. Now, what were they imprisoned for? Excellent question. And this is where my wild speculation comes in. This bonfire is called the Old Akelarre. And I googled Akelarre, and an Akelarre is a place where witchcraft was practiced. It's not a word that I was familiar with, and it's apparently not in common usage nowadays, but it's a place where witchcraft was practiced. And the collector's edition guide of Dark Souls 2 notes that the goblins were not made into their current form through any sort of natural process. And, although none of them did it here, those goblins can drop conventional battle weapons, just like spears and axes and stuff. And there's one corpse here that has the soul of a proud knight. What this leads me to believe is that this is a place where witchcraft is practiced by some sort of witches or other magical users that experimented on and imprisoned either humans or germs or both, and watched them transform and to see what would happen. And it didn't always work, and I guess it took longer time for some than others because that germ was still mid-transformation, although definitely not in his right mind, and this knight just straight up died. However, it was probably not created with the intent to be a place of witchcraft, as indicated by this spike in the wall here. Because this is something that you could use to escape, although not necessarily in a way you might want to. So witches probably would not design a way out of sorts. Anyway, that's my theory about the goblins and the Old Akelarre. There's a whole lot of other lore about this area as well that has nothing to do with the goblins, but I think that's what's going on. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, welcome to the best corridor, the best path in the game. Awfully empty right there. Wait a second, what? No. So, for some reason, completely independently of any sort of, like, decision by the developers, the community of this game decided that this hallway is going to include a bunch of messages that are all about the fact that there are messages. And of course, we have to contribute. I mean, how can we not? So yeah, this is one of my favorite just little bits in the game. And they didn't even plan it. It's just the whimsy of the community. Anyway, welcome to the Shaded Woods, which has now been named. And the Shaded Woods, pretty sure was the site of a big battle at one point. But now it's been mostly overrun by creatures. Also, the goblins are cannibals. That's great. So yeah, this would lead me to believe that some of the goblins escaped from their captivity, since they're not being supervised anymore. But yeah, this is a forest that is not doing super well. The trees, not in the best shape. It's not just that it's like autumn or something, because this tree's just doing fine and it's green. It's just a bunch of dead trees here. It's definitely not doing super great. Anyway, combat encounters get a little more complex here. We've got a bunch more goblins, and they start throwing rocks at us, which aren't super damaging, but they can be tricky because they will cause you to stagger immediately. And if you're dealing with one enemy and a rock hits you from off screen, that is going to do some damage. It'll do damage from the rock, and then you'll get hit by the swords as well. Or the skeletons, or the clubs, or whatever they're using. But this was definitely a place of a pretty complex civilization. A lot of buildings with some pretty sophisticated architecture, some statues, which we'll look at in more detail once I've cleared these guys out. There we go. Yeah, we got some nice columns here. And definitely indicators this is a place where knights, where soldiers were stationed, because this is the second time we've picked up the soul of a proud knight. Now, the statue, we're going to get a better look at one that's not broken in just a little bit. But it appears to be a woman kind of delicately holding some flowers that maybe she gathered, and there's flowers at the base there. If there's deep lore significance to that, I'm not on that page, but it is kind of interesting to have that nature connection in a place that has been overtaken by nature, and then nature's not doing so well either. Kind of feeds into that perpetual decline idea. Anywho, here's a better look at a more complete version of the statue. It looks like she's holding a baby, except that's not a baby, it's flowers. So maybe it's some sort of Mother Nature thing, and the statue is indicating that decline. I don't know. Anyway, let's light this bonfire, and we have a choice of 3 paths. 3 exits from this central building. And I'll tell you right now, only one of them is progress at this point in time, and it is this one, the one that you cannot see very far into. So naturally, I'm going to be going on the other paths. And, go in clockwise order. Just makes sense. Anywho, on this first path, we have an enemy that will look familiar, but we haven't actually encountered it before. The reason it might look familiar is that we've encountered their armor. Falconer armor. Armor worn by the Volgan falconers. Domestic Volgan soldiers are infamously timid, so it is no wonder that this fierce band of mercenary falconers was hired to compensate. In practice, they serve as the bodyguards for the affluent elite, and they serve well, such that nobody dares scrutinize their backgrounds. So these are the falconers. And they definitely seem to be more on the mercenary, kind of roving mercenary side of things right now. Ooh, hey. Oh, man. Rolled one too many times there. So, tricky encounter here. I'm going to run over and try to take care of that archer. Whoop. Oh yeah, they have a ridiculous running animation, you may have noticed. Right there, see that? Very silly. And it was not fixed for Scholar. It was in the original, and it was not fixed for Scholar. Anyway, these guys can parry you, so be careful. Anywho, what are they doing here? What is going on? Also, are they hollowing? I didn't actually check. Their faces looked all right. I think there's another one back here. Yeah. Oh, hey, hey, hey. Oh yeah, they're hollowing. Okay. So my assumption there, since they're hired as bodyguards, they're probably hired to guard some bodies here, or serve as soldiers, back when this is a war zone, and then caught the hollowing plague, and just kind of have continued pursuing that goal. Just pacing back and forth and fighting anyone who dares come threaten whoever they're protecting. Anyway, these guys have shields, and they know how to use them. Luckily, I can stagger them pretty easy. Nice. Really more dangerous in pairs than they are alone, as with most enemies. Yep, more Proud Knight business. Heck, maybe those guys were specifically protecting this knight. Who knows? Ghost ahead. Ah, yes. So this is a fun mechanic about the Shaded Woods, and by fun, I mean somewhat frustrating, but interesting. See that guy? Now he's off doing his own thing now. You know, up until now, we've often seen kind of phantoms, ghosts of other players from other worlds briefly phasing in and looking a lot like that. But this guy isn't going away. This guy is actually an enemy. Okay, is there any enemies around here other than him? Doesn't look like it. Ooh. Oh, there is one. Hi there. Hello, Mr. Goblin. So the thing about these specters, these ghosts, these ghost knights, you can't lock onto them. So the game forces you. There we go. Goblin finally dropped a weapon. Another indicator that they were, in fact, at one point, human warriors. Yeah, can't lock onto those guys, which makes getting around their attacks a little more tricky, and timing their attacks a little more tricky. You saw I was taking quite a bit of damage from them. Dragon Slayer's Crescent Axe and a Golden Falcon Shield. Let's see what that's all about. Check the shield first. Golden Falcon Shield from the Falconer set. Same description it looks like, other than appears like a glistening gold falcon from afar. Oh, and the bottom is different. The Falconers are rumored to be untrusting of others and demanding of prompt full payment, but no wonder. They deliver much more than they are paid and are well aware of it. So they're good at what they do. And then Dragon Slayer's Crescent Axe. So it's not from the old Dragon Slayer, not from Ornstein. It's the beloved black axe of the gallant, shieldless Lothian, formerly of Ferosa. No warrior matched the ferocity of unbeatable Lothian, but he was abruptly retired from the battlefield. Or rather, he abruptly retired from the battlefield, and he was never heard from again. Some say that he grew tired of the frailty of human foes, and set off to slay the legendary dragon. So, Shieldless Lothian, I feel like, have we heard of him before? Yes, we have. So, Shieldless Lothian is the creator, or at least the owner of the Ring of Giants and the Stone Ring, which are all about poise. Rose from the bottom, now he's here. And I guess eventually got kind of too big for his britches and went off to slay a dragon, maybe? Or he died like a chump here and the legend evolved around him because they couldn't accept such a great figure dying in such a petty way, backed into a corner. Now, you could maybe hypothetically say, oh, maybe that ghost that was patrolling around was Lothian. That seems a little weird, given that the ghost used a crossbow, and I didn't actually tell what the other weapon was. It's a possibility, but it's also possible that it's the guy who killed Lothian. I don't know. I would need to look back at the footage and see what weapon he used. Anyway, the ghosts. Yeah, with this areas, especially other areas in Shaded Woods, are full of ghost soldiers. Another indicator that this is a place of a great battle involving soldiers that they didn't end too well. You know, they died. You know, it didn't end well for them. It didn't go well. Yeah. Anyway, briefly, hello. This is the Shrine of Winter, or Shrine of Winter. We cannot enter. We must seek mightier souls. Now, where have we heard something like that before? So yeah, we'll be coming back there a long time from now. This is such a long game, you guys. That's the entrance to, like, the I don't know, third of the game? I guess I don't know how to measure. Anyway, so this is a dead end for now. We will come up on the other side of these ruins eventually from another path. But for now, we've got another branch to take. I'm trying to figure out a connection between the Falconers and Lothian. I don't know if there is one. Also, it's entirely possible that, like, Lothian fell somewhere else and then some dude just grabbed his axe and is like, haha, now I will be great, and then he got cornered and killed. Alright, on to our second branch here. Nothing hiding there, good. And we've got some weird little creatures here. I don't know what to call these. Gremlins or something. But, that one's running away. Are you gonna run away? Yeah, you're running away. I think these are similar. Ooh, hi there. These are similar to the creatures we encountered in the Things Betwixt, I want to say. Maybe not. But we've got bigger fish to fry, such as this ogre. Oh! Woo! Oh, that was not good. That was not good. Let's get out of here. Okay, let's try that again. Don't have a lot of room to maneuver here, but can still trap him in a butt slam continuum. Might have trouble doing that. It's been a while since I played, just so you know. Yeah, I think maybe this area was designed specifically to make it harder to get him locked in a butt slam chain. Because, you know, the way he twists around, even when he's slamming, makes it harder to get around him. Yeah. Look at that stagger. Look at that stagger. Oh, no. Having more trouble with this guy than I did in the one in the tutorial area. Nice, alright. One more. Okay. And for our trouble, we get some souls. Great. Now, are these gremlins gonna come after us now? Or are they just chilling? I don't know. This water doesn't look too good. But, it's fine. Here we get the red tear stone ring. What are you looking at? Yeah, that's what I thought. Whoop. Whoop. There we go. Red Tear Stone Ring. Boosts attacks when HP is low. Popular for speedrunners of Dark Souls 1. Katha, Goddess of Tears, mourns the undeserving dead, shedding tears as red as blood. It is said that the stone set in this ring is one such tear. So it's a high risk, high reward. If your health is low, you do more damage. And I don't like to live that way. Hey there. Look at you. Let's get out our blunt weapons here. Now, we've seen a door like this before. At least one, possibly more than one. The one I'm thinking of is in the Forest of Fallen Giants. And it asks us to produce the symbol of the king. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. And what was the description of the monastery charm? It had something. I think the desert sorceresses dropped him. Oh, here we go. Lindelt. So maybe that knight was from Lindelt. Anyway, this is somewhere that we cannot go yet. This is requires a certain thing. So we'll go eventually. Just haunts us. And yeah, that's the end of this branch. So we can return to the bonfire, and in the next episode, we are going to head off to progress. Not that this hasn't been progress, but we'll head off to the Shaded Woods proper, the part that everyone thinks about when they think about the Shaded Woods. What are you guys? Are you aggressive? You seem like you're aggressive now. Yeah, you're aggressive. No. No, you're not. Alright. Well. I don't know, it seems like they were in kind of a relationship with that ogre. Well, the ogre protected it, and maybe these guys provided some sort of service for the ogre. But, oh, I can't stay mad at you. Alright, yes. Let's return to the bonfire. Shoop. And in the next episode, we will take on the Shaded Woods. The very foggy Shaded Woods. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.